and welcome everybody to another empowering episode of Strength Hub by CXO Digital Pulse. This is where we deep dive into stories of remarkable women who are catalysts for change. And today, we're going to embark on yet another inspiring story with Linoy Kidd, the visionary CIO for HSBC, whose passion for education and unwavering commitment to diversity and inclusion have set her apart as a true champion of progress. Today, we're going to uncover Linoy's extraordinary tale of resilience, philanthropy, and the relentless pursuit of excellence. All of this under our theme of Invest in Women, Accelerate Progress. So, I'm totally ready to be inspired as we delve into the remarkable journey and transformative impact that Linoy brings, both within the corporate world and beyond. Welcome, Linoy. Thank you for doing this with us.
Thank you for inviting me.
I'm going to jump right into the first question. And we've read your story, we've heard about your journey from being an analyst in London to becoming the CIO for MSS MENAT in HSBC, which is truly inspiring. Could you share some pivotal moments or challenges along this path that have actually shaped who you are today?
So I started 18 years ago in London, as you say, as an analyst in FX options, and it's a very, very fast-paced environment. It was working very, very closely with the traders. It was very extreme, and it was very long hours, and you had to be very, very fast on your feet, like to come up with problem solving, etc. And that pretty much shaped me for the rest of my career, because I had to have complete discipline. If someone calls you, you need to be on it very fast. If the system goes down, you need to fix it very fast. If the head of trading emails you, you need to be on it, and you need to have that elevation about you. So my career basically went like this. I started as an analyst, and then my boss at the time had just had a baby, and he said, "Linoy, you're pretty much de facto team lead anyway. Why don't you take on the team lead role?" So that was amazing of him, right, to give that to me. So big thank you to him. And then as time went on, the business grew, but the system didn't grow with the business. The business outgrew the system. So we had to, look at our strategy and look at what we're doing, etc. And the head of trading in Hong Kong, he knew me because I would do trips to Hong Kong to go and see the business and make sure that they were okay. And at a particular time, the system was not doing all right. And then he basically rang up my boss and said, "I want you to put Linoy on a plane." So, because he was ringing me at home 2 a.m., 3 a.m., etc. So, it was a no-brainer, really. So I basically went to Hong Kong and I helped. We worked as a partner with the business and grew that team, grew the business. We upgraded the system. And then there was a strategy to move into China. And luckily for me, I was part of that strategy. So I went to help grow the China team. And basically what we did at that point is we went to universities in the UK, in Canada and the US, and we took the graduates with that education and we put it into China, but they were Chinese nationals. And then we did a boot camp. So we did 3 months boot camp. We trained them on specifics of the business and technology, and then we put them into working. And it worked really well because they had the mindset, but also because they had the specific boot camp, it progressed them. A lot of those graduates are now, we're talking 10 years ago now, right? So they're now traders or risk managers or managers themselves. So it was a very, very successful program. And then from China, I went back to Hong Kong. And then from Hong Kong, I went to Mexico. And that's when I became the GBM CIO for Mexico. And then from Mexico, I came here and became the MENAT CIO for MSS, which is Market Security Services. And yeah, it's been an amazing journey. I really love my job. When I became a manager, I realized that that was my calling in life, to lead people, and I love leading people. And then it just grew from there. I hope that answers your question.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you taking us through that journey in such a beautiful fashion is brilliant. Um, well, moving forward to the next one, beyond your professional accomplishments, um, we see that you have a firm commitment to philanthropy and education. Can you share a bit about what drives you to dedicate so much time and energy to building schools for the underprivileged and
Sure,
working
sure.
in the education sector?
Yeah, this is an easy question for me. So basically, my grandmother is Kurdish. She was born in Baghdad, and she was never taught to read or write. And she was basically she was wedded at the age of 13. So, her life became mother, housewife, etc., etc. And she had a very, very hard life. So when I met her, the only job she could get was cleaning, because she had no education. And she used to beg the grandkids to teach her some, how to write some words, and, how to teach her effectively. But she was extremely clever and very tenacious, and she spoke over 5 languages. So, she spoke Arabic and Aramaic, which is the old version of Arabic,
Yes.
and Kurdish, and Hebrew, and the rest of it. She even spoke ancient Hebrew. So she was extremely clever. And so for me, from a very young age, I really, really, really wanted to be an educated woman, to have the rights and the choice, and etc., etc. But also I wanted to make sure that no one would have the limitations that my grandmother had, through the lack of education. So when my daughter moved out, so I had a daughter very young. I was 18 at the time, and just to follow on from family tradition, because kids love to marry early, right? So I remember my grandmother ringing me at the age of 16, and she's like, "Why are you being so lazy? Where's your child?" Where's your child already? So basically, I when she left home, I was still very young, right? Because I had her so young, and I went back to what I was passionate about, because when I was 13, 14, 15, all I wanted to do was build schools in Africa. That was my dream. So I went on a managing training course when my daughter went to university. And I basically convinced everyone on that management training course to walk 100 kilometers with me to raise enough money to build a school in Africa. And the amount of money was 33,000 USD at the time. We're talking 10 years ago now. With inflation, it's changed a little bit. And there was 33 people on the course. So I said, if you walk with me and you raise 1K each, we can go to Africa and we can build it ourselves with our own hands. And basically they said yes. So we kind of made history in HSBC. We clubbed together, we walked 100 kilometers together, which was amazing, non-stop. It took us 24 hours. And then we went to Africa to build a school. Now, me being naive, I thought everyone would want to come to Africa, right? No. So of the 33 people, only 4 people came to the school build. But again, it doesn't matter, because we went as 4, but we had 33 behind us, and we built the school. And then at the end of the management training course, you have to get up on stage and say what your project was. And most people were like, oh, we changed the lights and we saved money, or, We changed the way we did onboarding, and we changed money. And I got up, and my team was like, we went to Africa and we built a school. And we put the pictures of the school because the school had just been finished, and we put all the kids up and everything. And it was like standing ovation. Wow. But at the end, the leader of the course, he said to me, "This is all well and good, Linoy." His name was Bob. "This is all well and good, Linoy, but do you think you can keep it going?" And I just looked at him and I went, "Hell to the yes." So since then, we've built 8 schools all around the world. So we've built 4 in Malawi, 1 in Haiti, 1 in Nicaragua. We built a house for the homeless in Mexico, and we've got a partial school build in Ghana, which still needs finishing. So since that time, and we've walked every year, multiple hundreds. So we've walked about 2,000 kilometers since then, probably a bit more. And we've raised close to $250,000 USD.
Wow.
So yeah, and what I love about the schools is they teach all of the kids around the villages. So you have 600 kids from around the villages, but they do after school, and the after school is for the teenage mothers who didn't finish their diploma and can now go back to the school and finish their diploma. And that for me is just a dream come true.
That's brilliant. And with that initiative, I mean, having such a strong pillar of inspiration within the family to leading the change that you are with the schools that have been established is brilliant. And I'm sure it's reshaping lives of those mothers who probably couldn't complete their education to enter a world where they can actually start earning livelihoods through different means.
Yeah, exactly.
Brilliant.
It's amazing. It's
It's
amazing.
amazing. It's amazing. Well, I want to come on to the bit where we discuss about diversity and inclusion and managing these initiatives at HSBC. It seems like a significant aspect of your role. Um,
Mm.
could you elaborate on how you integrate your passion for education and empowerment in these programs, particularly encouraging girls to pursue STEM careers?
Yeah, so when I was based in Hong Kong, it's going on 10 years ago now. My boss really wanted me to spearhead D&I. He's very, he's a sponsor. He really helped me in my career. He's helped a lot of women in their career. He's made a lot of directors in the bank. He's amazing. And so what he said to me is, it doesn't start in the bank, it starts before the bank. What we need to do is we need to go out to the schools that surround the bank and entice the students to come in, show them how amazing it is to do STEM, and then entice them to go to university and do STEM, and then we'll bring them full circle as graduates into HSBC. So we partnered with a school, with a local school, and we baked it into their curriculum, and they got CAS points. So anyone doing international baccalaureate, they got CAS points. And so yeah, every year, twice a year, they would come, we would teach them, they would do robotics, they would have to do a big project, so we would do Dragon's Den, etc. And then we were just using that for the next generation. And then we would bring in some amazing speakers, and we'd also invite the students to come for free to see these amazing speakers. So we'd bring some of the best scientists from around the world to come and talk to these students. So that was the bottom-up approach. And then from the top down, what we tried to do is we looked at how we interview women, how we do job adverts, make sure that the job adverts not like got so many tick boxes, because women are like, oh no, I don't have that tick box, I'm not going to apply. We do this thing now called Wild Swans, which is based off the book. So we show 3 generations of women to show how far we've come, but yet how far we've yet to go, which has been incredible. So you tap into the psyche of the real human behind the computer. So that's basically what we've done. And, you know, the education piece is all the way through that, because every single woman, when they come and talk, they say, I wouldn't be here without my education. I wouldn't be here without my education. My
Hmm.
grandmother wasn't educated. She instilled in her mother to go to get educated. Some of them just go to high school and then leave. But uh, the granddaughter is always the one that's gone to university, you know, really, really, really pushing the education. And then, we've had a lot of CIOs talk, and they literally talk about the education that helped them along the
Hmm.
way. So that's how it all intertwines.
Well, it's brilliant to know that such life changing instances can build up how your journey leads to, and brings me to my next question. As someone who's achieved considerable success on both professional as well as philanthropic front, how do you balance the two aspects of your life, and what are some of the lessons that you've possibly learned along the way to maintain harmony between both your career and personal passions?
So, so I fundamentally believe that if you bring your full self to work, everyone is a winner. You, your team, etc. Now, I'm not saying that the journey wasn't hard. The journey was very hard. Like if you met the 28, 28-year-old Linoy that stepped into HSBC, it's been a journey and it's been a long one. At the beginning, I really didn't know how to navigate, especially as a woman. It was a very, very male dominated. I was the only woman in the team. The trading floor is very male dominated. And I really wanted to be like one of the lads, and I didn't really know how to bring myself full self to work. Then, as the evolution came, I realized that thinking outside the box and diversity is absolutely key,
Mm-hmm.
and that without that, it's you need it. You need it for delivery. You need it for strategic thinking. You need it. So that's how I synergize the two. So for instance, my leadership. So I've looked long and hard at my leadership, right? What's good about it, what's bad about it, what's indifferent about it, what I need to start, stop, continue. And to do that, you need to know yourself, and you need to understand also what makes the people in your team tick. And you need to navigate that space.
Hmm.
And also you need to learn what your management style is. Now I'm going to come back to how to bring this two together. So when I was growing up, I had some key people that pretty much shaped the way that I think about the world. So Martin Luther King was one. I have a dream. I would watch his speeches on repeat. I love them, and sometimes I'll bring some of his. I'll quote him. Maya Angelou is another one.
Hmm.
It's not what you say, it's how you make people feel. I mean, that's like the epitome for me of how I live my life. And then with the school builds, I've seen so many chiefs from so many different countries that what I do is I take the best and I leave the worst. So I'll give you an example. I went to Nicaragua and I met the chief there. The chief was absolutely amazing. He was 50 years old. He'd built every single house in the village with his sons. He knew every single person's name, from the baby to the mother to the grandmother. And he was the most hardworking on the work site. But not
Mhm.
only that, we had some young lads with us on our trip,
Mhm.
and we had an arm wrestling competition, and he beat them all. A
Wow.
50-year-old man beat them all, and they were, in their 30s, and some were under 30, and they were big, and they go to the gym every day.
Hmm. Hmm.
So for me, I looked at that guy and I said to myself, I want to put that into my corporate life. Like I really, really want to put that into my corporate life. I want to treat the cleaner and the CEO equally. I want the graduate to the CEO to be treated equally. I won't say anything to the graduate that I wouldn't say to the CEO. I want transparency and trust at the heart of it. And I always say to my team, because I try and lead from the front, but I say, listen, I'm going to trust you to get on with the job. But if I feel like you're failing, I'm going to start micromanaging. Then you're gonna be in trouble. Then you know that something's not right. So, but this is something that I tell them. I tell them at the beginning of our journey. So that's how I intertwine the two.
Brilliant. Well, fascinating. And that brings me to my favorite part of the interview, where I want to bring in some rapid fire questions, but as I see the time,
Sure.
it's time for 2 questions. So I'm very quickly going to ask you, do you have any morning routines or practices that help you set
Yes.
the day?
Yes.
What are
Yes.
those?
I do. So my morning routine goes like this, and this is something that I learned halfway through my career. When you're a leader of people look up to you. They really, really do. Whether you realize it or not, everyone is looking at you. If you're in a bad mood, it's going to set the tone for the rest of the day. So what I do, I come in early before my team arrives, and I set out my agenda. So I have a to-do list, and I have also, okay, what's on my agenda for the calendar day? What's my to-do list? These are the top 3 that I need to do today. I need to get them checked off by the end of the day. So I do that. But I also do, what's my intention of the day? And what am I grateful for? So every day I'm saying I'm grateful for my son, I'm grateful for my daughter. And every day I say I'm grateful for my family, I'm grateful for my friends. And every day I set an intention. So, letting go of whatever happened yesterday, or being at peace, or that's how I set the intention.
Brilliant.
Day.
I'm going to start doing that, setting an intention and being grateful for one thing every day. Brings me to the next one, Linoy. If you could invent a holiday, what would it be called, and how would people celebrate?
A holiday. Okay, my holiday would be like this. I would want everyone in the world to do something nice for someone else, and we would call it like something cares.
Probably.
I don't know, like what would be the prefix, but it would be like maybe like Yoda cares or something, because I love Star Wars. But you have to do something nice. You have to do something nice. So whatever that is, you don't have to build a school, but paying for someone's meter, or they're in the shop, you're in the shops and there's a guy in front of them, they don't have enough change, you pay, something nice. Like bring out the empathy in people.
Brilliant.
Nice question. Never been asked that question before.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And that's as much as what we have time for. Thank you for doing this with us and at such short notice. I'm really grateful, and it's been an inspiring conversation. Thank you very much.
No worries. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, to our viewers, we've seen that the conversation with Linoy Kidd draws to a close, and we see that her story stands out as one that brings out the power of determination and compassion. And for her humble beginnings and her current role that she is, the journey is a compelling reminder that dedication and a strong sense of purpose can make anything possible. Thank you very much for being with us and viewing this. Thank you once again, Linoy.